WINCAST, a production of shared experiences about empowerment, gender equality, and tackle discrimination. Now on air.
Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in for the second exhilarating episode of WINCAST. I'm your host Danica, and we've got the awesome Sam right here with us.
Let's kick things off with a bang by introducing some of our special guests for today. We've got Marcelo Torres. He is the Business Development Manager at Laboratoria. And our very own Blue River family members, Senior Software Engineer Alexandra Berna, and also UI UX Developer Amaya de Cesar. Thank you all for joining us today. How are you all doing? Amaya, how are you? Alexandra, Marcelo, thank you.
Hi everyone, very excited to be here. Thank you for having us.
Hi, I'm Alexa. Thank you for having me.
I'm very
Thank you.
excited. Very excited. Thank you for the invitation.
We know we are all excited to have you all here today. We have 3 invites for today. Last episode we only had 2, so this is a big group for today. So thank you all. Marcelo, we know that you have played an essential role in Laboratoria and currently are the business development manager, where I'm pretty sure that your skills would consist of managing as well overseeing, verifying, and ensuring that the bootcamp goes pretty well. Okay, but now we want to hear from you, Marcelo. Please, if you can share with us a little bit about your background and your current position as a business development manager at Laboratoria.
Amazing. Thank you. So my background. I am Mexican. I come from a humanities background. I studied political science and evolved my career into first communications and then into technology and afterwards into the commercial landscape. My role nowadays is as business development regional director. So my job is to lead the team that creates opportunities in the sense of forging relationships with companies that are willing to open opportunities for great women that access Laboratoria's bootcamp. So it's a great responsibility because for us it's part of the job is to have the capabilities to actually help companies understand how diverse tech talent can enhance their innovation efforts, their output, and it's not only like a social cost, but also it's a business case for us, and we can discuss a little bit further. But that's part of our role, like having this chance to engage with companies and build with them a vision and a mission on how to add more women into their tech teams.
Thank you, Marcelo, and thank you, Alexandra and Amaya. It's such a pleasure to have you all here with us today. In today's episode, we're digging deep into the gender gap in the world of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, also known as STEM, particularly focusing on tech. We will chat with Amaya and Alexandra, both former participants of Laboratoria, a Latin American initiative championing gender equality in tech and empowering women.
Let's get to know Laboratoria a little bit more. I understand that Laboratoria works towards closing the gender gap in technology by creating a digital economy that is more diverse, inclusive, and as well competitive. All of this, I did research that it started in Peru in 2014 and it has now expanded to Chile, to Mexico, Brazil, Colombia, and as well Ecuador. Marcelo, our eager listeners are itching for more. How about giving us a scoop on Laboratoria's history, its objectives, mission, and anything else that you'd like to share?
Thank you. I'll be glad to. And I'm also eager to listen from Alexandra and Amaya. They are rock stars. But yeah, I can give an overview because Laboratoria was born, as you mentioned, in Peru 9 years ago. We have a regional approach. For us, it's important to help Latin America improve we see a win-win-win situation. So companies can improve their teams with diverse and powerful talent. Women can access into this competitive landscape for a growing sector in the economy, and our whole countries can get better. So Laboratoria has graduated more than 3,500 women with different backgrounds. Laboratoria works with women with different backgrounds in the sense of different geographies, but also different careers. Some of them are mothers, some of them did have a chance to start a career professionally speaking, some of them didn't have a chance, and this might be their first approach into the job market. For us, the only thing that matters is the potential and the eagerness to actually change their lives. So that's why Laboratoria exists. We have a couple of programs. We have a web development program, we have a UX experience program, and we have an upcoming data program that we're just launching. So how we do this is we try to create like minimal MVPs, to use the language you use in tech. Like, we're creating MVPs in terms of the capabilities, the tech skills, but also the life skills, because we know that for companies, it's not only that you know how to use certain tools, but also that you have certain approach into how you create value inside tech teams, right? So that's how we do it. This program lasts for 6 months, give or take, and during those 6 months, these women connect daily, and they have synchronous activities in which they work together and learn together on how to better achieve and tackle certain goals for the projects they have to deliver. And they also learn how to work in an agile way. So they define the sprints, they define the user stories. It's very like, it's very employability oriented. For us, the main goal is not for these great women to learn the craft, but to actually land the job in which they can use that craft. And I think that's the big difference between Laboratoria and other efforts, because I always make the same joke. It's not Marcelo learning how to bake bread during the pandemic. It's not like, I should go into the internet and learn how to make a bread loaf. It's not like that. You really need to work, and you really need to put all the effort in order to access Laboratoria and to graduate from Laboratoria. And that should enhance your possibilities to land a job at a company as amazing as you are, for instance.
Thank you, Marcelo. I really like hearing that, that you guys are offering a bit more than the profiles for designers and web developers. That is amazing to hear, and that just means that you guys will keep on growing. So that is good. And I'm also very happy to share that Blue River and its members started to collaborate with Laboratoria in the early 2021 to mentor students in their pursuit, of developing a professional career in technology. Moments ago, we did introduce two of our very own Blue River members, and they were also part of this initiative in Laboratoria. They were they participated either as a mentor or as a student, and later on, we're going to hear a little bit more about what they would like to tell us, okay?
So, Amaya, we're very curious. How did you first come across Laboratoria, and could you share with us your journey through their bootcamp, please?
Well, it was really by chance. Like, it wasn't that one day I woke up and I'm going to be a developer now and just knew about Laboratoria. No, I was searching for a bootcamp when I decided to change careers, but I couldn't find. At that moment I did not find Laboratoria actually, and the other bootcamps that I found, did not fit my needs. Bootcamps, well, they cost money, and there was no way for me to afford one. And then life happened, and I had different priorities and things that I had to worry about, so I stopped searching for one. And then one day, months later, I was scrolling on Twitter, now X, and I follow an account that would post job positions. And one day he shared like a screen capture about a conversation he had with one of his followers, and she thanked him for introducing her to Laboratoria because she took the bootcamp and now she was working at a tech company. So I was like, what's Laboratoria? And I searched Laboratoria, and I really liked it. I fell in love with it, with the approach and mission that they have, like being the only like centered on be for women, to increase women participation in STEM field, and also the way the program is set is that you don't have to pay until you finish the bootcamp and you find a job in that field. Now I'm debt free. I paid Laboratoria, but that was the only way for me to really have access to a bootcamp, because otherwise, like, I wouldn't have studied in one. And yeah, like Marcelo said, they offer different programs. I entered the web development one, and when I found Laboratoria, it was like the last week to apply for that year's bootcamp. So everything was very quick, very fast. I took the test, I answered the questionnaires, I did the interviews, and then before the bootcamp starts, they have like a trial week, and it is constructed in a way that it's like that's how you're going to work on the bootcamp. And it was a very interesting week, and I got accepted. And when I entered and we started the bootcamp, it was a shock. Like, I knew they said that the bootcamp was going to be like that trial week, but I didn't believe them, because in the trial week it's like, you have this project, go and create it, and you have these resources that you can check that will help you to create the project, but you do you. And it's like, what? I don't know anything about development, like anything. And of course, if you got stuck or you have questions, we had coaches to ask for help. But it was like that. So I didn't believe that the bootcamp was going to be like this, and it was. And it was a complete shock, because you're usually in the academic like environments. You're used to having the teacher at the front, and the teacher gives you the information, and then you learn. And here's like, no, here's a project, go and create that project. It's like, what? But it was great, like, in the end, because something that's very important for them is that you go and make your knowledge and your learning process your own. And that's a very valuable skill, I think, to have. And in the end, it's very rewarding, because everything that you created, you know that it was because of you. So I think it was great. And then we had like the projects that we were working on. Sometimes it was individual, sometimes it was teamwork, and we have times to work on that project. We have different times we called it a gym, where we would solve small tech problems in like code wars or such platforms. And then we also have different spaces to work on our soft skills, but because they really care about not only the tech skills, but our soft skills, and I think that's very valuable. And we also have spaces to talk about like our psychological well-being. The team had a psychology that would check on us to see how we were doing. So it was a great, incredible environment, because like everyone will help each other out. It was a very, like, we established very close and significant relationships with each other. And it was very interesting because, like Marcela said, like, there were people from different backgrounds and contexts and ages. Like, the youngest was 19 years old, I think, and the oldest was in her late 50s probably. And like, it was very interesting to see all those different points of view. So I loved everything about the bootcamp. It was great.
Thank you, Maya. It is definitely interesting to hear from you that you were part of Laboratoria as a student, but also to see the insight that it's not only from Marcelo, who is actually like working there, but also how you felt. So it's really amazing. Thank you for sharing with us. For us, for Sam and I, the first time we heard about Laboratoria, it was right here at Blue River, as Sam said, back in 2021. And it was thanks to our colleague and employee success manager, Igliana Gonzalez, who was also a previous guest in WINCAST. And the moment she introduced us to Laboratoria, we were both in, like we were in. We really enjoyed the cause, and we were like super eager to help. So I was reading recently an eye-opening MIT article that was very surprising to me, because it said that in today's year, like in 2023, women make up only 28% of the STEM workforce, which is like surprising. Like, I cannot believe we're in 2023 and still we only make up 28%. So this imbalance not only hampers diversity and inclusion, but also, as Marcelo was saying at the beginning, it has serious economic implications. So, Marcelo, what do you think fuels this gender disparity in the tech world?
Amazing. Thank you. And I get really excited to listen to Amaya's story again. Thank you for sharing that with us. And she does not get paid to speak well about Laboratoria. So that's my case, but I really believe it. It's not only because I get a paycheck by the end of the month, but yeah, we have a problem as a society. Women are not getting to the 30%, and tech is the future. So it's not only like saying, yeah, well, I mean, you don't have many women in construction, or you don't have many men in, I don't know, elementary schools. And sometimes people will actually say that, like, okay, but what's the problem? There are certain areas in the economy to which certain genders might be a better fit. But to be honest, that's not the case. That there is no like a rule set in stone that says that technology is a male field in any way. We do have some stereotypes and we do have some prejudice, and that like, yeah, hampers the way in which women can thrive in the tech sphere. So I would say, to keep it blunt and short, there are many factors. We published a paper with the Inter-American Development Bank 3 years ago, in which we lay out the 8 barriers that women have to access the field, right? And some of them have to do with gender roles. Some of them have to do with the way in which education is provided, and how that makes women like follow certain paths and make men follow certain paths. You have other you have prejudices that work against women, but I would say, like, I've been in Laboratoria for 3 years almost now, and for me, part of the problem is that it's really hard to get women to join the STEM field. That's the first case. It's really hard to get women to join because you don't have the tools available or disposable for them, okay? But then it's really hard for them to stay. And there's this study from Accenture and Girls Who Code in the UK that says that most women will leave their career in tech before they are 35 years old. So when I read that, for me, it was like an eye-opener, because it's really hard for everyone to have more women join the tech industry, and most of them will abandon, and they will abandon their career because it's really hard. Again, imagine going into a place in which there are only people that are different from you. They're the same among them, so they start to create certain disparities that make it hard. So for me, it's very inspiring to learn the story about Amaya and all of you women working in a tech company. I'm a guy, I'm a vato, as they would say in Mexico. Okay, so for me, things are not as hard as they might be for you joining the tech arena. And in that sense, we need everyone to chip in. We need the tech leaders, we need the HR teams, we need the peers, we need everyone, because this is hard. And we have also this fact from the World Economic Forum, because again, for a lot of guys, mostly, they're like, yeah, but women, they're all over the place, and they have March, they have their own month, and they are winning space. And yeah, if you use the World Economic Forum, the fact, there has been some improvement. The thing is that if we keep the same pace, it will take somewhere between 99 to 113 years to achieve gender equality. So yeah, we're better than what we used to, but it's not enough. So that's why we need to step up the pace, and we need to do that at home with our own kids, at school, among companies. Everyone needs to chip in. So yeah, that would be, I ramble a little bit, but that would be like an overview on how the challenge it's a real challenge nowadays.
Thank you, Marcelo. I completely agree with you, and I think we all, as women, agree with you. I was a teacher before joining Blue River, and something that I noticed during the pandemic, for example, was that girls dropped their studies because they had to take care of their families. So the fact that you were saying, for example, that women leave their careers after like they're turned 35 years old is probably because of that, because they are considered and they are perceived and they perceive themselves as the primary caretakers in their families. So that is one of the things that we need to change. It doesn't have to be that way. So I think not only that, but also the unconscious biases that we as companies when hiring or promoting women within the companies is something that we need to take care of. But also, as you were saying, it's not only that for women to get in, but to stay, right? So to stay and to be part of the role models that young girls out there need to see, and to see that they can aspire to something else, right? So yeah.
Totally. And I would like to add something because I think you're very clear in this idea. And every now and then I go and have this workshop with guys, right? And I'm a guy, so we can relate, and we're like, yeah, let's have like a heart to heart conversation. And I've been with AWS, with Cognizant, HP, with a lot of companies, great companies that are trying to move their male leaders into having a more active role in this problem. And in the last slide of my presentation, I always quote Banksy, the street artist, and he has a great quote that says, "People won't take the initiative because nobody told them to do so." And that it's a it's funny because for a lot of people it's like, yeah, but nobody told me that I should do something to help this. I thought this was HR responsibility, or I thought this was the diversity and inclusion team responsibility. Everyone thinks that this is someone else's responsibility. And the main call to action that we need to learn is that given that we have social prejudices, cultural barriers, economic barriers, and so on, we need everyone to actually make this their cause. And that's important because this will help your own company thrive. And if your company thrives, you won't get fired. And if you don't get fired, you're going to be happy. So that's why it's important for everyone.
Exactly, and I think it's really fantastic that Laboratoria has taken up the challenge to level the playing field for women in this industry. So I completely agree with you.
I actually agree with Danica and Marcelo a lot. I do believe it is very crucial and important for all of us to promote the gender equality in STEM, as well as fostering a more inclusive and diverse environment. I really completely agree with both of you. And a little earlier, we spoke of Laboratoria, and Marcelo stated, key details as to why it came about. Let's get to know, about the areas that they offer at Laboratoria during and after the bootcamp. All right. First, there's the job application mentorship, and here is where a group of mentors from other IT companies they gather to collaborate, to participate, and aid these women with the creation and improvement of their resumes. In which the mentors they would ensure to have samples, they would provide follow-ups, they would go over any kind of modifications made to the resumes. They would also help the students with their LinkedIn profiles by showing them, the do's and the don'ts for the exposure to the IT world, and also perform mock HR interviews, which I believe is very important, particularly for their communication skills. So they know, what it is that they're gonna get into when they go into an interview. Um, I'm very glad to say that Danik and I have participated in the past as mentors, and it was an incredible experience. It's very amazing how we can help someone start off in the IT world, knowing how they're able to present themselves from start. It is amazing how these bright, brilliant, intelligent, and exceptional women have that great untapped potential, and we want to, expose it, and they have the motivation to do whatever it takes to be exposed. And I love that. But also, I'm not sure about Danica, but also on my end, I although, we guided these women, I feel that I learned a lot along the way. We did a lot of research. We had to be up to date on the pros and cons for the resume. Things change now and again, and we may not know about it, but just by researching on it as well, the mock interviews, everything is just different nowadays, and just to research and also share that information with others, it's great.
Yeah, I agree, Sam. It was really inspiring to meet such brilliant and courageous women who are actually making a difference in narrowing the gender gap in IT. Like, for example, Amaya is now a role model for young girls, right? Like, she is a representation that we need in tech, right? So I am truly inspired and grateful to Laboratoria and its students, because I am certain that we need more women in tech. So, Amaya, how did the job application mentorship help you gain insights and kickstart your career in the tech world?
It was great. We have two types of mentorship. One more centered in the HR process, like interviews, and then the other for the tech part. So for the HR part, we had mentorship on how to write and organize our CV as well as our LinkedIn page. We did mock interviews, and it was really really helpful because they gave us tips, like real life tips in how they search a candidate in LinkedIn. How, like, I prefer or this candidate that has this information in their profile, like it will pique my interest way more than this other person, or like in the CV or in our mock interviews, like this answer maybe you should structure it in this way so that it will give you more information to the interviewer about different skills that you have. So that was very great. And then for the tech part, they gave us tips on not on like how to solve a problem, like the technical part of it, but how to be and how to behave while solving a problem. So one of the tips that they gave us was to communicate what you're doing instead of just solving the problem, like to verbally express what you're doing, the way you're thinking of solving the problem, so that the other person can know your process. And I also got a feedback in the tech interview that, like, the interviewer told me, like, oh, you did great. I would definitely consider hiring you if this was a real interview. So, like, great. Like, it gave me a boost in confidence to just feel like I can do this, And also another tip that they gave us, and I think it's related to what was mentioned a couple of moments ago in the way that Marcelo told us that it's hard to get women into the STEM field, and it's hard to keep them there. A tip that they gave us was to apply even if we don't fit the whole criteria, to apply, because they saw that a lot of the times when the candidate was a woman, she would not apply if she didn't have all the criteria for the position, whereas men could probably apply if they were missing like one or two. So they would tell us that apply. It doesn't matter if you don't have them all, apply, and don't give yourself the no. Let the company give you the no. Don't give yourself the no. And they also told us, like, if you let's imagine that you have to have 10 no's to have a yes. Then go for those 10 no's, just apply, and don't be afraid of getting a no. So that was very helpful for me, at least, like to really trust myself and to go for it.
Yeah, I think the part that is important is trying, as they were telling you, right? Like, go for it and try, and let's see what happens. So something that both Sam and I have seen we join the client calls, we join whenever a candidate is meeting with a client. So we've noticed that there are certain candidates that they just write a code, but they don't showcase their communication skills. So that was a great tip too. For as you said, a real life tip that you need to show how you think, your thought process, and everything. So it was really we can certify that it is really important also, right? So let's talk now about the tech mentorship, where mentors from different IT companies come together to provide additional guidance.
Actually, where Alexandra comes in. Alexandra, we know that you have had the opportunity to participate as a mentor in the past. Maybe you could tell us a little bit more about what this mentorship is about, the tech mentorship, and you know, a little bit more about everything that you've had to do as a tech mentor.
Yeah, sure. So the tech mentorship is, as a tech mentor, what I would do is help my mentees like realize their own potential and and believe in themselves, because a lot of them think that they don't know, but they actually do know a lot. And so that's what I normally do when I'm with them. And it's very nice and it's very inspiring to see them like go, hey, it's true, I do know, I am good. And so that's usually what I do as a tech mentor, more than just telling or guiding them towards like, you need to learn this and you need to learn that. No, I first make them realize that, hey, you're cool, you're awesome. And so that's mostly what I end up doing. And then afterwards, then we start, okay, now we need to know. Now that you know, now you need to know what you don't know. And so
Yes.
and I always tell them that to not be like scared in a tech interview in a company, because it's a win-win situation for them, because they're going to know what they don't know and they're going to get better at it and they're going to be more prepared. And also that it's life redirecting you, like that was not the place. So it helps them like notice, not feel like I failed, I wasn't able to get like the first one. Because I'm not sure if this happens like to everyone, but at least it happens to me. And it's that if I receive like a no, I feel like I'm the worst person ever, like I suck, I do not deserve to be here. And that's not true. It's just, you fell down, now we have to get back up again. And so that's what I normally try to do. And I always tell them I'm their personal cheerleader, so they can come to me and say, hey Alex, it didn't work out. And I'm like, well, they're the ones who are missing out. Now you continue, you're gonna go and be awesome somewhere else. And so that's pretty much like the experience that I've had as a mentor for the Laboratoria girls, women, sorry. And so
I like that because I think it's very important to be very honest. They need to know from the start. If you apply somewhere, don't expect to get a yes then and there. We have to work for it. For example, I did not know absolutely anything about the IT world. I did not know at all. I did not know recruitment existed. I did not know that technical writers existed. I did not know we actually have programmers to get stuff done. If not, how would all of this exist? I did not know that. Where, what rock was I living under? And it's very good that from the start we are honest. You want to go get a job interview, work for it. You have to practice, do your mock interviews. If you can research, go ahead. Right now there's a lot of AIs out there that can help us doing mock interviews. You just have to ask it, type a question, it's gonna ask it, and we just respond. And if it's gonna tell you yes, you did good, or no, you didn't do good. So it's very good that we're honest. And I like, Alex, that you boost these women. That is what we need. We need to motivate each other. We need everyone to have that confidence to try their very best. Okay, and that is very good. And another question for you, Alexandra, what impact has this program instilled in you?
Well, it made me realize how hard it is to get a job in tech. Like, I've been in tech for like 8-10 years, sorta. And back then, for me, it was like, okay, like you said, I had no idea that there were tech writers. I did not know there was quality control. I did not know about QA. I did not know anything about that. All I knew is that I was a software engineer and I needed to get a job. And so I applied and I got the job, because back then there wasn't that many like developers, but nowadays it's getting really hard for like people to get a job in tech, and I don't think it should be that way, but there's like a lot of like obstacles that, you know, I'm not exactly sure why they exist, but they exist, like the whiteboards and doing live coding and all sorts of stuff. I'm not really good with that, but like it made me realize. But at the same time, whenever I was with my mentees, I was always inspired by how resilient they were and how much they would push on and continue and be like, okay, I'm not going to give up. And it made me realize, hey, you know what? We can do this. I'm with you, and we're gonna continue forward. And that way you're gonna get that job, because even though it's hard and difficult, I know that like my mentee is gonna be able to do it. Like I completely believe in them. I just need to help them believe in themselves. But I know they have a lot of potential. That's what I normally do, and that's what I've seen.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. And maybe Amaya, maybe you'd like to quickly share with us what this program what impact has this program instilled in you?
It changed like my life completely. Like I wouldn't be here without Laboratoria. And that's not to say that maybe I would have the skills if I had studied myself. Probably, I think I have the skills. Thank you, Laboratoria, for that confidence boost. But like the way that, yeah, like what I just did right now, like they not only gave me the tech skills, but also like the confidence boost, like the reassurance that like I can I can be here. And yeah, I mean, I chose badly my career path at the beginning. I chose a career that wasn't for me at all. And I did not enjoy it at all. And then I'm here and I'm working and I'm coding, and I'm like, I love coding. I just freaking love coding. And it's like, thank you. It's like, thank you.
That's
because
nice.
it's true. There was no way in the world that I would have been able to afford a bootcamp. Like, no way. So to have these kind of programs, and that's being supported by actual tech companies, it's awesome.
Yeah, Alex, don't stop helping these women. We want you to continue helping out, like students like Amaya, who now is working. She's very proud of herself. We want that with each and every woman that we've been able to work with. Okay, and just to finish off with the last area that Laboratoria offers, it's actually the Talent Fest. Every time a boot camp ends, a Talent Fest is held, and this is where the graduates present different projects and they participate in different challenges with the goal to be seen by sponsor companies and are eventually hired. Blue River has sponsored these events and also have hired a graduate. Hi, Maya. So we're very happy for that. Now we'd like to hear a little bit more from Marcelo. Marcelo, maybe you'd like to share with us a success story or experience of a graduate who participated in the Talent Fest and were eventually hired by sponsor companies, for example, like Blue River.
Thank you, and this is very inspiring. So yeah, basically we have the Talent Fest that starting last year, it's regional. Before it used to be local, like every country would have their own Talent Fest. Nowadays we have a big event where we have like somewhere around 20 companies from different countries participating at a hackathon that lasts for 1 week. They bring their own challenge, like bring your own show and tell in school, bring your own challenge, and they will work hand by hand with a group of women that graduated from Laboratoria. And in the end, they will compete at the demo night, which is like the big event where we have a jury and they will decide who did the best work around the challenge. But the most important thing about this is actually what you said, not the MVP per se, but actually the chance to connect people that are already working at companies, amazing companies like Blue River, with these amazing women that recently graduated from Laboratoria. And it's a very innovative practice because it helps like lower the barriers and the prejudices. So we've seen many people that will go like, yeah, you cannot learn enough in 6 months, this is not actually very helpful. They will come, most of them tech leads, and they will see what they can do in 4 days, and they're like, what, how in the world, when I recently graduated from, I don't know, university, I couldn't do this, and they did this in 4 days after 6 month training. So it's a very good way to connect and to actually lower barriers and have everyone understand that we are all part of this challenge. We are all part of this solution. So this is pretty cool. We've had more than 52 hackathons at Laboratoria. I think we're going to our 54th hackathon. We've had more than 90 companies from different geographies participating, and I would say many of them will end up hiring the women they work with during the hackathon. It's not like a requisite. It's not, you don't need to hire them by the end of the event, but we are confident that you're gonna fall in love with it. That's the truth. So
It's preferred.
exactly. No, and we know that by the end of that week we don't need to say anything. They're gonna be like, what, how can we open spaces for these women to be part of the company? And that's the part that is really important. Companies need to open those opportunities. Those opportunities are not already there because women are diverse talent. They don't have the straightforward career path. So if you have your job postings and they have this like cookie cutter profile, you will get a guy. If you want to have more women, you need to open those spaces. So that's what the Talent Fest works for. This year we're going to have this in October, a couple of weeks after we're recording this. We're very excited. We're having women from Ecuador, from Chile, Peru, Colombia, Mexico. And this year we added extra complexity. Yay, because 2023. So we added this artificial intelligence prompting tool. It's not actually ML or nothing like that. It's just a no-code tool that helps connect the certain APIs with the development. But it's pretty cool because they're getting a sense, they're getting a taste on how this works. And I'm pretty sure that these women, we're going to have more than 80 women participating. Some of them will say, yeah, AI is for me. And some of them will say, AI is not for me. What the heck? I want to learn, I don't know, more into other spheres, right? So yeah, that's happening really soon. And we're very excited to have all the companies share this space with us. And just to wrap it up, the squads, they would usually go with tech leads, HR teams, diversity teams, product managers or product owners. So they work together as a unit. And that's also very important because some companies in the beginning, they will be like, yeah, no, like, show me your trick. It's like, no, you're working together. They don't need to prove you anything. They're super, super powerful women. They're just gonna shine working with you. And that's something that's very important and makes us very proud because no one here is doing like social services. Everyone's just looking for their best interest in a way that is a win-win situation.
Thank you, Marcelo. I think something that is really, really innovative about Laboratoria that Amaya was also sharing was that as you mentioned, maybe after finishing your degree, you're not able to do what these women are able to after Laboratoria. And that's because of how you teach them and how it's hands-on experience. So it's not about having a social service, as you were saying, but they're actually looking for a job. So that is something that Laboratoria is breaking many things, not only bridging the gender gap in Latin America, right? So thank you for sharing that information with us. Amaya and Alexandra, why do you think it is important for Blue River members or anyone with the capability to be a mentor in initiatives like Laboratoria or any other type of initiatives that work towards addressing gender inequality? I don't know, Amaya, what do you think?
I think that it is a help that goes two ways, like for the industry and for the individual. On the first part, you're helping increase the participation of women in STEM and everything that that in itself involves or what it means. And I mean, there have been a lot of improvement in that area, but like we talked before, we're not there yet. So it's great to be taking a step further on that. And then for the individual, you help in their preparation and in increasing their chances to be there. And I can tell you that we're extremely grateful for it. And it really changes people's lives. I mean, I talked a little bit about like my case a moment ago, but like I had fellow students like express just how their lives changed radically. Like, I'm not exaggerating. One friend was telling us that it's incredible because 1 year ago, like after we took the boot camp and after we landed our jobs, we were talking, and she was like, "It's incredible. 1 year ago, like I didn't have a place to live. Like she was left on the street for X, Y, and Z reason, and she was like, and then here I am." I have a place to live. I'm paying rent. I just changed my kid to a better school, and overall her life improved, and she's working at a place that she loves, doing what she loves. So I think it's very important, and the help that you give in these programs transcends like what you do for the individual. Like you were telling us before that you also learn from helping. So yeah, I think it's like Marcelo said, a win-win. Like there's no way you're going to lose in this situation.
Yes, thank you, Maya. And Alexandra, why do you think it is important for anyone who has the capability to help in these initiatives?
I think it's very important to participate in these types of initiatives because it helps you broaden your view of the world. Like Marcelo said, there were tech leads that would go out and say, you can't learn programming in 6 months. And they don't know much because I learned how to do websites when I was 11 years old. And so, and the way Maya also says, it changes their world. It's very incredible to be part of that journey of helping people out, of helping your future colleagues out, and seeing them get excited for tech is super refreshing because sometimes you forget why you're even in tech. And seeing people excited and saying, I love coding, I love software development, it reminds me of why I also like software development, because you can get into like the routine of your life and be like, I'm tired, like that. But then you start hearing this and you're like, hey, now I remember why I was making websites when I was 11 years old. And that's why I think it is important, because it is the way that you can help. Like also Marcelo said, tech is the future. Tech is disrupting way too many industries. And so we need people like Maya to participate in all of this process. It can't just be handled by a certain group of people. It has to be handled by a lot of types of people. And so I think it's important for us to continue to participate and to get people excited with tech and, just have fun with it, because tech is also very fun. So yes, that's why I think.
I do think, all in all, mentoring women in technology is a win-win for both the individual and also the industry. It is a proactive step towards addressing that gender inequality, fostering diversity, and also ensuring a brighter as well more inclusive future for the technology sector.
So, Marcelo, we know that many industries, including, of course, STEM, have been traditionally male-dominated, and this was something that you were sharing at the beginning of this episode. So, how do you address gender disparities within your organization and projects?
Thank you. So yeah, it is a challenge, and it's always very important, because given the fact that we're a non-for-profit, we're an impact organization. We do not have any profit. We were created to help more women on the job of tech, and we have the honor to be working hand by hand with many people in different industries, in different companies. So we need to be very aware of how we are actually tackling those challenges inside our own organization. So the first thing is that, of course, as you might imagine, we are mostly women at Laboratoria. One out of, I think it's 2 out of 10 people are male, and we're trying to make it more balanced because once again, you need to have balanced things to have different perspective. It's the same problem, but the other way around if you don't have any guys. So we're trying to make it to keep that in a good shape, and we're very aware in I would say in 3 ways, and that would be also a way of advice for companies. The first thing is how you measure impacts who you reward. So I have this story I always share of a company that they were trying to be very fair with women, so they would allow women to take the easiest challenges. Why? Because they were mothers and they would be the primary caretakers, so they would need to leave the office first. So their managers, they were trying to actually help those women, so they will give them easy tasks. What's the problem? By the end of the year, when the time came to define who was going to be promoted, women didn't have a lot of work that spoke for them. But not because they were not capable, but the company, in a way of trying to help them, they didn't help them grow in their career. Maybe those flexibility in their personal lives was good for their role in their own households, but not for their career. So we need to make sure that we assign the work in a very fair and very thorough way. We need to make sure that we're measuring what matters, and that's very important. It doesn't matter if you are spending more hours. The thing that's important is, are you delivering results? Is this really helping? Are you communicating correctly? Are you becoming a very good team player? Do you have interpersonal skills and so on? So the first thing is assign the work in a way that's fair, then measure in a way that's fair. And the third thing that we do internally, but we always promote to our partners, is that make sure that everyone is aware. You need to have commitment from the top. Of course, in our case, we don't need to have our CEO bring this topic because we were created for this. But yeah, we need to have CEOs, CTOs, CIOs making this their own cause. Because if you have a tech lead trying to have more women join the tech teams, but the CTO says that women, they do not know how to code because men are more logical. That's something I've heard so many times. Men are more logical, and therefore they are better with numbers, and therefore they're better developers. I want to die every time I hear that. But if you have the CTO act openly saying that, it damages the way in which other people across the organization can actually enhance the women in their team. So those would be my advice, that we of course take to heart. Have the C-suite be involved. Make sure that you measure what's right, and make sure that you assign the work in a fair way.
Understood. I must comment that addressing disparities in technology along with ensuring the representation of minorities is fundamental to creating a fair as well innovative and inclusive technology industry. I feel it benefits not only the industry but also the society by fostering equality, broadening opportunities, and also promoting social progress. Maybe Alexandra, we would like to hear from you. Why do you think it's important to have minorities represented in the field of technology?
Having minorities represented in the field of technology is important because, a little bit of context, I'm from Venezuela, so I'm gonna explain it a little bit. And it's that when I see people from my country of Venezuela succeed in an area that you have no idea, it makes me feel really inspired. And regardless of what's going on around the Venezuelan context, it makes me see like, hey, if they could do it, I could do it too. And it really inspires me to continue and pushing forward and doing the things that I really want to do, regardless of the obstacles that I've faced. Because as we've been mentioning throughout like the entirety of the episode, I've faced a lot of these issues that we've been talking about, not in Blue River and not with my client. You guys are the best, but I've definitely faced these. And so when Marcelo was saying that, like when you're 35, women want to leave, I was like, I've been wanting to leave when I was 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30, because I haven't reached 35 yet. So and it's really hard because you do have to face a lot of these issues, and it happens at home, it happens with friends. And so I felt really like, yeah, I know what we're talking about here. And so, but seeing, for example, Angie Jones or Sarah Drasner, like there and doing their thing, and they're being super cool, like on Twitter, on tag, on their conferences, they're like, yeah, I want to be like them too, like I want that as well. So it's very important. And so, like, since I want to be like them, I'm like, I'm going to continue in tech so other people can see me and be able to say, hey, she did it too. So that's one of the things that makes me like say it's important, because we don't see that many girls and women, sorry, I just like the word girls more. And I say that because ever since I joined like software development, I haven't worked with one single female developer, one women developer. Like it's always been guys, and I'm like, I'm tired. There's a point where it's not like, I don't want just minority representation, I just want a woman to talk to. So
work
this is
together.
It happens.
Yeah, so these things are important for like these types of stuff. And there's also something a little bit more professional speaking, and it's that it makes you have a much more holistic view of your product. This is company speak. And for example, I'm gonna put it, I have it like written down here. One of the things that I faced when I was here in Mexico as a Venezuelan was the way that numbers are represented, right? And this is important if you're doing like an e-commerce for the entirety of Latin America. So if I am creating something for Mexico, I'm gonna show the numbers like 10,000, like the 10, 000.00, right? But in Venezuela, I would represent it as 10.000,00, and that is something so small but can make a really big impact, and it can help your users feel more at home in your application and in your product. And I'm talking about something that small as number representation between countries in Latin America. And that is one of the things why diversity is very important, because a woman can tell you something that a man cannot see, and a man can tell you something about your product that a woman cannot see, and it goes that way based on your ethnicity and everything. So to me, that's why minority representation is very important.
Agree. And Amaya, maybe you'd like to share as well, why do you think that representation of minorities matter in technology?
That, like, speaking in technology, it brings new perspectives, and with that innovation and creativity and new ways of working together, and with that new ways of reaching goals. And because at its core, like, everyone deserves a chance. And I also feel that it helps us grow in a personal level to have all these different contexts and interaction with each other. It just makes us better people.
Thank you, Maya. Thank you, Alexandra. I completely agree with you. I think something that we were discussing before is that we lack representation of female role models in IT, and I think both of you are playing a crucial role towards closing the gap in IT. So the role that you both have within the IT world encourages other women to pursue a career in IT technology. And it also shows that it is possible for women to reach for opportunities. It's like you have the know, just go for it, and for professional development. So the fact that you are here today with us in this episode and your roles, the roles that you play, helps to tackle stereotypes and to be aware of the unconscious biases that we all have, as we were discussing. So thank you. Alexandra, I know you were a member of a different project before Laboratoria. You participated in a different project. Could you please tell us a bit more about that project or any other programs that you know that are dedicated to enhancing minority representation?
Yeah, definitely. I was a mentor for a little while on Technovation. It's for kids mostly. The idea is to attract little girls into the tech world, and to me, it was very like I was super happy to be like mentor of these girls because they were scared of tech, and I was like, why are they scared? Like maybe I don't know, but I was there with them and I was like, you can do this. We're gonna do it together. And so it was really great seeing them when they were like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And we're talking about like young girls. And then there were other girls who were like, this is so easy. And they would just go and do some things amazing. I was always fascinated when I was with those girls because they were like super into it. Like some of them were like, oh my gosh, this is so like very delicate thing, and then there was others that were grabbing it like Play-Doh, and so like it's really really cool. And besides Technovation, I haven't participated, but I have been following them around, like lurking. And I know that there are some programs like Tecno Latinas, then there's Epic Queen, and there's also Black Girls Code, and Girls That Code, I think that's the name. Those are the ones that I normally like follow around. and so those are the initiatives that I know. But like Technovation, I've also been a judge, and so you get to see like all the because Technovation is a contest. Look, all these you can get like a group of girls, you divide them into teams, and they have to solve a problem in the world. And so it has to be like in medicine, it has to be like I don't remember all the areas, but like it was medicine, it was family, and something social. And so seeing like all these ideas and seeing how they implemented it, and you're like the judge of this and you gotta give them like feedback, but seeing like all the ideas and everything that they're doing and all the ages, because they vary a lot, is pretty impressive. And it's like worldwide. Like I seriously recommend like just checking it out. It's pretty cool.
Thank you, Alexandra. And Marcelo, how about you? Do you know any other efforts focused on improving minority presence?
Yeah, I think Alexandra mentioned some of them. Girls Who Code, the Beth, they're also doing great work. Epic Queen is, at least in Mexico, they're huge. Yeah, I think there are two ways of approaching this. Some of them are bootcamps and some of them are communities. Part of what I'm seeing is a little twist in the way this is happening. Bootcamps were really, really huge in the last couple of years. Nowadays, bootcamps do have a role to play in this challenge, but also communities. We've seen a lot of women creating conferences, networks, and events that connect potential and connect talent among and across the continent. So yeah, I think a good place to start is LinkedIn. Even though nobody really understands what LinkedIn is for, this is a good place to start, because you will see there that it is a thriving community, and you need women to support women, and you need to have those role models, and those communities are making sure that women that are already there can become role models, just like you are.
Agree. Adopting causes that support minorities in technology is a strategic necessity for companies. It drives innovation, it fosters a more inclusive workplace, and also aligns with more broader social and ethical responsibilities, ultimately, contributing to the success and sustainability of the technical industry. So, our last final question before we conclude this amazing podcast, Amaya, why do you think it's important for other companies to adopt these causes that can help minorities matter in technology?
In the end, I feel that it is important because it is the right thing to do. It really and we have talked about this all over today, but it's a win-win situation. Like, it increases your workforce's ranges of skills, talents, and experiences, and you also open the doors to people that in the first place shouldn't even be fighting to have the doors open. But you help in creating these opportunities, and you help to inspire and to really improve people's lives. And I also feel it overall helps in the creation of a better work environment and culture, because it's a culture of openness, and one that is welcoming. And it's like, in the end, it's positive even for your company's brand. And I know that's probably not the most important thing, but like we said, win-win situation. Who doesn't want to work at a place that has incredible culture, that is welcoming, that is friendly? You know, there's just no way for a company to lose while doing so.
Agree. Today we dove very deep into who is Laboratoria, what benefits they offer the woman to maintain in the digital age, the areas that Laboratoria focuses on, the job application, the technical mentorship, the talent fest, as well as the gender gap in STEM and what we can do to close that gap. I am very happy to share that since our collaboration with Laboratoria in 2021, we've helped over 80 women in these initiatives, and with a remarkable of 61% of tech mentorship participants landing jobs. So big kudos to everyone who has been part of this mission to close the gender gap into the technology industry. Before ending today's episode, Alexandra, Amaya, Marcelo, we appreciate the time you provided with us today and having us pick your brains on important matters. Before we leave, do you have any last comments you'd like to share with our viewers for today?
So, viewers, listeners, join Laboratoria, participate in these initiatives. It is amazing to be part of this journey and to help your future colleagues and, broaden your view world and actually get to know your future colleagues. And I think that would be it. And have fun.
Yeah, Laboratory is pretty cool, and I'm not just saying that because I come from there, but objectively, it's a really cool program. So if interested, or you know someone that might be interested, go check it out. And thank you Laboratoria for that opportunity. Thank you Blur for the opportunity, and thank you guys for this opportunity, for this space to talk about all of these things that are very important.
I want to say thanks to all the team at Blue River, to you, Sam, Danica, Alex, Amaya. I want to thank you very, very much because, you've been a part of this process. We started working in Mexico, I remember, 2 years ago, and we've expanded that collaboration, and you've grown in that time, and we've grown in that time. So I think that's a testament, that's a proof that this win-win situation that Amaya mentioned is very important. Alex, I want to bring you to many different spaces. I think you are a great speaker. I think you have your ideas very clear, and I think you're right. We need to have more women believe in themselves, and we need to have a more inclusive world for them to actually thrive. So thank you, because you're part of this. I appreciate the space that you provided for us, and hopefully we'll be doing a lot of stuff together as people and organizations in the upcoming years and months.
Thank you, Marcelo. Thank you all for being here and joining us today. And to our listeners, if you're interested in becoming a mentor for Laboratoria or any other cause, reach out to the WIN team or to our Employee Success Manager, Igliana Gonzalez. And don't forget to join us in our next episode.
It's been an awesome talk, everyone. Have a fantastic day, and be sure to follow us on our social media, YouTube, and our Zoom channel. You can find all the links down below. Until next time, everyone, take care. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Thank you.